Hi guys, I have a crusty voice right now. Hi guys, I'm Tasha Frost. If you already know me by name, that means you're definitely subscribed. If you don't know me by name, then that means you haven't subscribed. So make sure you hit that red button on this side. Yeah, I believe it's right here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you stay tuned to the rest of the video. Also, don't forget to check out my old videos. If you look down in the description bar or if you go down to my channel page, you'll definitely find all my videos and my most recent ones down there. So yeah, let's get right into this video. So, as y'all can tell by the title, it's pretty much questions about me growing up in Ghana. Excuse any noises you hear in the background. I live in an apartment, so obviously there's going to be a lot of like footsteps, a lot of closing of doors, and a lot of things like that. But excuse all of that. I hope you guys can hear me because my throat is kind of funny today. So yeah, this is just a video about me growing up in Ghana and just some little bit of experiences. I don't want to be beating about the bush and going all over the place with this, so I decided to make out some questions that could pretty much give you an idea of growing up in Ghana. It's just 10 questions. I'm going to answer them to the best of my ability, to the best of my memory as well. So yeah, just stay tuned. If you're Ghanaian, hey, what's up? Let's get right into it. So the first question I have here on my phone is, what schools did you attend in Ghana? First of all, let me give you guys a description of what Ghana is and where it is at all. Ghana is in Africa. It's a country in Africa. Let me just state that there's a difference between Ghana being a country and Ghana being a continent. There's nothing like Ghana being a continent. I've heard that a lot. I'm sorry. Ghana is a country in the continent of Africa, which happens to be in the world map, if that makes sense. Yeah, I just wanted to clear that out. So Ghana is in West Africa. I can't locate it right now because I don't have a map to show you guys where exactly it is, but it's located in Africa, western part of Africa. I grew up in Accra, which is the city of Ghana, the main city. Accra, and specifically in certain areas of Accra, which I'll get to later. But yeah, that's where I grew up in. What schools did I attend? For my kindergarten, nursery to kindergarten, I did attend Holy Child Nursery down in Sakamono, Tema. And then for my primary to junior high school, Holy Child JSS, which is what you call junior high school. JSS is what I attended. So it's just one school but then broken into two in different locations. So the nursery and kindergarten was located in a different part of Sakamono, and then walking distance to the primary and JSS, which is the primary, or what you guys call, I think, elementary school down to high school. That's where the primary, or first grade down to 9th grade, was located. So two different locations, but one school just separated. That's where I attended, and it's called Holy Child School. Let me just make it that way. Holy Child School, primary and JSS, located in Sakamono, Tema. So yeah, that's where I went to school at. For my first, from nursery down to 9th grade. For high school, I was privileged. I was lucky to have attended St. Mary's Senior High School, which is down in Koligono in Accra. So yeah, I'm definitely an Obawa chick, you know what I'm saying? Obawa, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm definitely a Mary's chick. Shout out to my academicians out there, Casmo for life. So yeah, that's where I attended high school, senior high school at, yeah, in Ghana. So definitely Holy Child, and senior high school was St. Mary's Senior High School. At what age did you leave Ghana? I left Ghana in 2009. I believe I was 17 years of age, or was it 18? Let's do the math. In 2009, and I was 18 years of age when I left Ghana. What was it like growing up in Ghana? Okay, so I grew up in Accra. I never got to experience any other parts of Ghana. I haven't been to any other parts of Ghana except Accra. I've stayed in Accra through my education, through my upbringing, through everything. If I was taken elsewhere, I was probably like a blood clot or, you know, little grouper baby. So I didn't get to see anything, I didn't get to experience anything. I was just carried everywhere. I was just a little baby, but I never really got to travel. So yeah, I didn't get to see any other parts. What was it like growing up in Accra? It was beautiful. It was a great experience. I would definitely take that if I could go back in life. I would do it all over again. All over again. I would not change where I was. I would not change how I was brought up in any way. My parents were pretty strict at a much younger age, which I don't blame them for, but that's what structured me to who I am today. But my parents were pretty strict. They were, at that time, they were pretty strict when I was up till about, I think until the age of somewhere around 16 is when it kind of mellowed down a little bit. I was a very defiant kid. I was very defiant. I was very, you know, when I'm fixated on something, when I make up my mind, it's very hard to get me, and it's not a good thing. But that's who I was. I had a mind of my own, and my parents respected that, but they also knew when to step in. Growing up there was amazing. I had friends, amazing friends, which I love to bits, and I still hear from and I still communicate with as much as I can. For those I don't communicate with, it's probably because of maybe reasons. Maybe I lost their numbers, or they just haven't reached out, or things happen, so that's okay. I had amazing friends. My high school life was amazing. Cosmo for life. About Charlie. Anyways, so yeah, we have that. I had amazing education. There was a lot of competition for every class that I entered. It's like everybody wanted to get to the top, so there was a lot of competition. I still remember my classmates like no other business. Like, my neighborhood was just to live in. Like, you know, we had so much fun with the people I associated with. There were some people that were, there was a lot of cliques, and it's normal. There were a lot of cliques, but I don't think I had any issues with anybody. If I did, then hey, that's on you. But I don't think I had any issues in my neighborhood. I was just very sheltered as well, so I wasn't going out much. But when I did, I try to mingle with whoever I can reach out to. Yeah, growing up was very structured, very sheltered for me. My other siblings may not have experienced that, but for me, being the first daughter and the first daughter and first girl, like first, you know, girl from my parents and first daughter, I think they had to be very structured and strict when it came to me, just so my little sister, or at that time my little sister, my younger sister would be able to pick up certain things which were positive rather than picking up the negatives. So I think that's why they were very strict on me. Being defiant, so I had a lot of clashing with my parents. My mom, from the beginning, was just a little tough. Like, the relationship was quite tough and strained because I did not understand her and where she was coming from. My dad and I had we had some issues as well at some point, because when it started out, he was very, very much the dad that you would run to for anything. The dad that would be like, mommy said no, but daddy's gonna say yes. He was that kind of dad. Until I don't know what conversation happened between the two of them. They just chose to switch it out on me after like so many years. But yeah, my mom was the strict one at some point at a much younger age. I'll say till about age 14 maybe. She was pretty much the strict one. We were scared of her at some point. Then I don't know, around that age, 14, 15, it just switched out again. My dad was the one you would not go to, you would go to my mom. I don't know, now it's like they're on the same level. You can go to each of them at the same time and you still get what you want, and you still get the love and the affection and everything you want. But yeah, I think they did the right thing by switching out at some point, you know. Yeah, so I'm both a daddy's girl, mommy's girl. It was a nice time growing up in Ghana. It's fun. That's the word to describe Ghana. It's fun, period. If you're planning on going to Ghana, I'll definitely say go visit. If you stay, then hey, I'll hit you up when I get there. If you come back, then hey, you know you're going back. It's an experience that everybody loves. You have to experience it to know what I'm talking about. The values, the culture, the respect, the I don't know how to explain it, but you have to be in Ghana to experience what I'm talking about. But yeah, growing up in Ghana was amazing. That's the word I can give to it. How would you rate discipline in Ghana? Like I said, it's a big deal. You cannot walk by an elderly person and not greet. You cannot walk by a group of grown-ups. In other words, like the way we speak over here and cuss, and kids can just talk to their parents anyhow and just say whatever they want to say and just walk off, and you can't touch them. No, in Ghana, you would say that and walk off and be pulled by your hair. You would say that and walk off and be slapped in the face. You would say that and walk off. You can't even walk off. You can't walk off, man. You'd be beaten up before you can even think of it. My mom used to in my face. You will get it before you can finish your sentence. That's how it is in Ghana. We don't play. Parents don't play. So you can't do nothing like that. Forget it. We don't play at all. Discipline was like rated 15 over 10, man. Like, don't go there thinking you're all that. You go come back thinking you're not. Okay? What was your worst memory growing up in Ghana? What was my worst memory growing up in Ghana? I would say, and I don't talk much about this, my worst memory growing up in Ghana would be somewhere around 2004. 2004 is when I believe we were getting ready for the BEC, which was the Basic Education Certificate examination. Whew. Yeah, that was when we were getting ready for that examination, and I remember having some classes at that time and walking home after class, walking to class, and sometimes taking a taxi, but then, you know, mostly walking back home with a group of friends. And this one time, it happened 3 times, but this particular one time was that close to it. Very close to damage, if I should say. I was supposed to walk with a group of friends, but that day they all decided to go their different ways. I don't know what happened. It was like everybody had their own plans after class, and I was left alone to walk home. So I'm not going to get into details with that, but when I walked home that night, it was quite dark and unusual. It wasn't as, and I still see the image like it was yesterday. It wasn't as lit up like it usually is, you know, in the neighborhood where we have like street lights and all that. So when you're walking, it's not, even though it's dark, it's not as scary, okay? But this one time I was walking home and it was pretty dark and I'm by myself, so of course I'm going by this usual route. Like, I'm not gonna go where I've never walked before, so I used the usual, you know, route home. And upon getting to this place where there's like a path, we had this place called Doris Day. If you ever lived in Sacramento, you know where Doris Day is, towards Regimental Estates. You know where Doris Day is. We used to buy Aladdin and stuff, and like Cinderella stickers and magazines and, you know, things like that around that store, like in that store. So I was walking right in front of it, and there's this bush path like on my left hand side. I'm walking straight towards Complex, like right behind Complex School. If you know where that is, right opposite Holy Child Holy Child Junior School. So I was walking down that street, like, you know, and then somebody from nowhere just was walking right through that bush path. I bet you I did not see that person at all walking. Like, I didn't see that person. I don't know how that person even got that close to me without me noticing him. I'm not sure what was going on, but that person just came from that angle, okay, walked up to me. I'm thinking he's going in front of me, so I'm like trying to stop so he can, you know, cross me, because I don't know why he was still approaching when I'm still walking. You're literally about to clash like this and bump into me, but you're still coming. So I had to stop like right there so he can go, okay, not knowing there was another guy coming from the opposite direction but through the complex school. And, you know, pretty much I think their whole intent was to like attack me and rape me or something. I'm not sure what it was, but that was not the experience that I expected to, you know, have. But they came right at me and grabbed me and like, yeah, so you get the whole thing. Yeah, and I was so lucky. I screamed. I'm not sure how many times I screamed for me to be heard, but nobody was hearing me for a while. But then eventually I heard somebody like scream back, like, you know, at them, and that kind of, yeah, that helped. But yeah, that's not a memory that anybody would want to have. I was so close to whatever that was. And yeah, and it's funny, the person who actually screamed out is somebody I was least expecting to do that for me. That person was like somebody I would not even approach or talk to in the neighborhood. That was because of the lifestyle the person was living. It was just not good. But funny enough, that person saved my life that day, if I should say, and I'm forever grateful to him. Forever grateful. We've been cool ever since. So yeah, I give that respect to that person anytime I see him. He's turned his life around, so that's a good thing too. But that's my worst memory in Ghana. I would never, ever. I remember going home shaking, crying. I was a mess. My mom could not believe it. I remember telling them, but I guess they could not believe it themselves. Like, what? Ever since then, my dad was very big on picking me up. If nobody's coming, I'm just going to sit there and wait till somebody picks me up. I'm going to pick some kind of taxi, dropping or something, and take it straight home. But usually after that, after a while, I just could not do it anymore. So I stopped going to class, and I just studied for the exam by myself. Yeah, that's the story, and that's the memory I don't want to remember. Yeah. But anyway, so what was your best memory growing up in Ghana? Best memory would be, let me see. Best memory growing up. My best memory would definitely be the memories that I miss, I would say. So that would be, if you know Ghana, maybe some parts of Africa, I think Nigeria experiences the same thing that we experience, which is the light outs or the light offs, if that's what we call it. In Ghana, we used to call it light off, so, or dumso. Dumso is like a big thing in Ghana especially. I think in Africa, like Africa in general. I'm not sure about the other countries, but I know Nigeria for sure experiences that. It's a power outage. We just have that like random. It's like toffee. We just throw candy all over them. It's like you hitting a piñata and the candy all over. Yeah, that's dumso everywhere. Yeah, so we experience that a lot. I remember it gets so hot, like it used to be so hot back then when it gets like that and there's no light anywhere. If you don't have a generator, then you're messed up. Like you're literally, we didn't have a generator and we didn't care. We cared about the appliances that were going bad, but we didn't care about the fact that there was no generator. Like what? So we experienced that, and I would never take that moment away from me. Like I love it. I would experience this tomorrow if I was to be in Ghana. Yeah, dumso is not pleasant. It's like a bittersweet experience. It's not pleasant, but yeah, we had that a lot. And we still do have that issue in Ghana and Nigeria especially. Yeah, I remember my mom and my dad used to sit with us in the living room. We used to call it sitting room, but I think people call it living room here. We used to sit in the living room with our parents and just hear stories from them about their lives back then. You know how parents would tell you they were the best students back, well, my father had proof he was the best. My mom too was good. But my parents used to tell us about their high school experience. My mom used to beat them like crazy. She used to tell us about how she would like throw people. She used to tell us about like throw people down, like be the disciplinarian in the class and things like that. We used to, oh my god, it was funny. I can't tell you some of these stories right now. My mom used to tell us about how, like, history, things about Kumasi, especially since she grew up there. She used to tell us about the experience there. She used to tell us about the story behind Madam High Heel. You know, if you've ever heard about that story, that story will not make you pee in the bathroom. You will run. Yeah, that was like stories like those. My dad used to tell us stuff about the family that we didn't know. We used to have those moments, you know, family time in the dark, if I must say. It's just the best memory. I don't get to have that anymore, but I wish to have that. I really wish to have that experience again. But yeah. Would you love to allow your children grow up in Ghana? Definitely to the E. Like, I'm not even joking. I've always said this, that I'm gonna box my kids in a box, put them in a, you know, shipping container and have them shipped to Ghana. Well, not literal, I would never do that. But you know what I mean, like I'm definitely taking them to Ghana as soon as they're born. They're gonna have that discipline and upbringing that is necessary for them. They're gonna understand by the time they grow up to a certain point. It's definitely important to me for them to have that kind of foundation. So definitely I'll have them grow up in Ghana. Do you still have family in Ghana? Yes, I do. My parents are in Ghana. My younger sister, who's directly after me, is in Ghana. My younger brother, who's directly after her, is in Ghana. And then my brother's here, so that doesn't count. But my parents and my 2 siblings are in Ghana. And of course the extended family, some of which are in Ghana. Where did you live in Ghana? I lived in, like I mentioned before, I lived in Sakumono. Well, I grew up in Ghana, Accra. Lived in Sakumono, which is in Tema. Community 14, which you would call Regimental Estates. So yeah, Sakumono Formo or Pichesha. Was there cussing in Ghana growing up? Was there cussing growing up in Ghana? What you guys call cussing here is not what we call cussing over there. The thing is, bottom line, we don't have your kind of cussing in Ghana. We don't do that. All that effing and the and the we don't do all of that. I can't do that. We have a whole different way of cussing in Ghana. Oh, pardon me, but we have the onya sawmills, oh papa, your, you know, we have different like ways of cussing. Ours are like insults, not just words thrown in different tones and we're having some weird meanings that people just chose to put on it. But we have straight up insults, like I said, oh mama, na oh papa, na oh your sawme, na oh your papa, you know, all those things. So ours is totally different. I wouldn't call it cussing, it's straight up damage. Yeah. Guys, those are the main questions I put together for this video. That's me pretty much growing up in Ghana. If you have any more questions, just drop them in the comment section. I would definitely answer them. If you haven't subscribed, like I said, make sure you hit that red button right there. And I will definitely see you in my next video. If you want to see more about how I came up with this look, also there'll be a video either before this video or after this video. But definitely gonna come, I think it's gonna come before this video. So just make sure you hit back to my channel and check that out. Make sure you're sharing. Also, don't forget to follow me on all my social media handles. I'm on Instagram as Tasha Frost _. On Facebook, I have a page, Tasha Frost. I also have an account. You can definitely add me as a friend. Hopefully I don't exceed the limit. I think I'm that close to it. Also, don't forget to check out my blog, tashafrost.blogspot.com. I'm dropping some things on there as well. And of course, I will see you guys. Oh, don't forget Snapchat. Make sure y'all follow me, the Tasha Frost. I'll see y'all later. Bye.